Bubba Wallace, everybody's been talking about this story. A lot of my conservative antagonists, they've been wailing on and on about this for a couple of days now, about Bubba Wallace being the Jussie Smollett. How horrible Bubba Wallace is, how he a hoax, how Bubba Wallace is inauthentic, and how Bubba Wallace, and I want us to unpack this a little bit because I think it deserves examination. I think there are people who are playing this up as they do everything else, and then they're hypocritically pointing fingers at others as they play this up. And I'm going to make the case where it's not just Bubba that these people need to take a look at. They should take a look at themselves. So Bubba Wallace is a NASCAR driver. He's the first African-American NASCAR driver that I'm aware of. And I could have swore I heard of others, but okay. I don't follow NASCAR driving. Let's just say currently the only black NASCAR driver. And he recently came out for Black Lives Matter. And he had Black Lives Matter on his car, Black Lives Matter on his shirt, and he was standing up for Black Lives Matter on the backdrop of the protests and the George Floyd murder. So, okay. Then a couple days later, there's the whole thing about, well, there was a noose in the garage. And then there was talk about, well, that's not a noose, that's a garage pull. Now, guys, folks, Johnsons, I'm going to show you the picture of the noose, or the garage pull, of the garage pull. What does that garage pull look like to you? Okay, I'm just saying, like, what I'm trying to figure out why everyone's saying that Wallace is the horrible guy making up something. When, I don't know, I look at this and it looks like a noose. If that's a garage pull, it is a garage pull that has been tied to look like a noose. Okay, so, hey, Bubba Wallace was contacted by NASCAR and told about this noose in his garage. Now, it wasn't his home garage. It's a garage at the NASCAR stadium or wherever where he practices at. And he hadn't been in that garage before. He's been just assigned that garage. And it was already there. Apparently, it turns out it was there before he moved in. But NASCAR noticed it. And they told Bubba, we found a noose in your garage. And he said, what, a noose? And he had a reaction that anybody else would have, any other black man would have, when you tell them there's a noose in his garage. And what the hell? Now, if you're not a black person who has a history or has a history to your people specifically that involve lynchings and hangings, maybe that'd be fine with you. Maybe you go, oh, whatever, We just talked about suicides. Maybe you think suicide. But if you're a black person and you're not thinking about suicide, that's not the first thing would come to mind. Suicide, lynching. And it's on the backdrop of you wearing Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter shirt, Black Lives Matter on your car. And it's on the backdrop of the NASCAR deciding to get rid of the Confederate flag, not in any small measure attributed by you, pushed by you or rallied by you or inspired by you, coming out and saying, we need to do a better job. We need to change our culture of this sport. We need to grow. And then there's this thing in your garage that you didn't know was there, that they told you was there. I'm still trying to understand, how does that make him the bad guy? If it turns out that this was just someone's bad idea of what they should make a garage pull look like. I mean, I'm not saying you got to walk around being totally sensitive to black people 24/7, like, I'm always going to be worried about the blacks. Oh, I got to worry about the blacks. But wouldn't it behoove someone to have a little bit of cultural awareness? I mean, just a tad? You mean to tell me every garage that you would go to, and I heard there were hundreds of these garages at this location, all of them have a noose-like hanging garage pull? All of them? Now, you can say, no, I don't know. Who knows the answer to that question? I don't know the answer to that question. But I'm still trying to figure out, how is Bubba the bad guy? He may be the wrong guy, but he's wrong based on information that was given to him. He's not. So the FBI did the investigation. The FBI uncovered that this thing was not a hate crime. Are you suggesting that Bubba should have discovered if it was the hate crime or not a hate crime? Is he supposed to be able to determine it? I don't get it. Now, these people who keep on talking about this story, I don't know Bubba. I don't watch NASCAR. I'm just telling you what the rope looks like. And you are dope if you don't see that rope looks like a noose. Now, I wasn't in Boy Scouts. I go fishing. I know how to tie hooks. I kinda know how to tie hooks. I've had to tie hooks. It's been a while. I've been too busy. I haven't fished in a couple years. But there was a time I could tie a hook pretty good. Okay? I don't remember the names of the hooks or the ties though. But if you know all that stuff, I'm not saying you're the rarest person in the world, but what I'm saying is not everybody knows all the names and the types of ties that you can do with ropes. But when we see that, to the untrained, country western person, right? Or the whatever you call it, Boy Scout ready merit badge winner, that looked like a damn noose to us. Won't you guys just admit, you're just mad that he talked about Black Lives Matter, and now he is your enemy. So now you must destroy him. Just admit it. Let's cut the crap. Let's not even waste each other's time. You are disingenuous as hell. Yes, you. You are looking for viewership and advertising revenue money by attacking this young guy, as if he created racism in this country and that somehow he benefited from it. If anything, getting this wrong or believing this wrong allegation hurt him. It did not help him. He was already making history by getting the Confederate flag or having applying pressure with NASCAR that had the Confederate flag removed. He was good. He'd already done the damn thing. He didn't need anything else. I don't understand the logic of you saying he did this to help himself. Now, there's some people saying that NASCAR had a vested interest and maybe they set up Bubba to take a fall, or maybe NASCAR plotted this whole thing out. And I don't know. Neither do you. Well, you can't disprove that they did it, so, you can do that. That's not how this works. You don't get to just throw out erroneous theories and say, disprove them. That's not how it works, because we can do that with everything. I could say a person is an alien, and you could say, no, he's not. And I could say, well, prove me wrong. See, that's not how you argue. If you're making the assertion, you have to prove it. But the worst thing about this thing with Bubba is these people that claim to be so upset, claim to be, oh, here we go again, you are ruining the country. They don't actually care about people making false allegations. Because I didn't hear them say shit when the cops were lying about people putting stuff in their food. Yeah, where were you, Mr. Complaining about Bubba? Where were you when these cops said somebody put bleach in their Shake Shack shake? And then the investigators had to go look at the film and find out there was nothing poured in their stupid shakes. But they had already sent this shit all across the internet, put out statements, went on diatribes about how policemen are treated so badly. Even Donald Trump tweeted about it. But I didn't see you condemn the police for blatantly lying. Not something someone told them. Hey, somebody put bleach in your drink. No one told them that. They came up with that themselves. And what about this guy? Sources tell me an off-duty LA police officer allegedly found a tampon halfway through his Frappuccino at a Starbucks in Diamond Bar on Friday. I'm told to use his police credit union debit card. Sheriff's Department confirms they took a report and they're now investigating. Folks, does that look, what the hell does that look like? And how old is that tampon? If that's what that is. I have no way of determining what the hell that is. Looks like a cotton swab. A bunch of cotton swabs. I don't know what that is. Is that an animal? Looks like it has eyes. What is that? I do not believe that is who is working at this Starbucks who's keeping a tampon for a 3-month-old tampon to bring it to work, to put it in the coffee. But it's not just that. Where were all of these overly conservative boosters of police who are so pissed off, and these defenders of the Confederate flag, and these guys, where were they? Where were they when these cops were saying that the McChicken sandwich, after a number of incidents in the last couple of years, including a cop claiming a McDonald's staff took a bite out of his McChicken sandwich, then placed on administrative leave after remembering it was he who took the bite. Where were you? Why aren't you calling this out? We got a law enforcement person lying, saying people are biting into their food. We got Karen, the cop Karen, crying, and not because something was wrong with her food, but because it was taking long. She just assumed something was being done to it. Why aren't you calling that out? Why is that? Why didn't that bother you? Why you make videos condemning the cop for being a drama queen? And why should we give a drama queen a gun and a badge and allow them to have authority over people if they can't handle waiting in a line at McDonald's without flipping out? But see, you won't make comment. They will not comment about that, guys. They won't. See, because they're not really upset about anything. That's my point. They're really not upset about Bubba Wallace. They could care less. They don't really care about Bubba Wallace, but they want to make a point. They want to win the argument. I will not let you win the argument because you're too hypocritical. I cannot allow you to win. You don't get to win on my watch. You get to win on other people's watch. They look around other places, look for other things to talk about. But no, I'm going to address this BS nonsense right now. If the news you watch makes you more confused after you watch it, watch the Tim Black Show and know what's going on. Go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Join today.